All right, so let's get a screen share going and we'll start talking. I guess I should pin myself. That way everyone else gets to kind of chill. All right, so licensing, right? Now, this is sort of your curriculum. Not sort of, it is, right? There are numerous ways to do licensing. You can do it online, self-paced completely. We can get you a course where you go in person, but that's usually like a, half day Friday, full day Saturday, half day Sunday, and you're done. So you give up one weekend and it's over, but a lot of people aren't willing to do that. I would recommend that if you're struggling though on the sort of like discipline required to get the online stuff done, then looking at that option is huge. Casey, I'm going to co-host you really quick, just in case anybody pops in. Can you just let them in?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. So this is your online pre-licensing. This is just sort of like your curriculum though. And so I want you to think about this as more of like, just get in, get this done. This is not going to teach you anything about the business. This is literally just your state requirement, okay? So this is somebody that's already working. I just clicked on the first one that I had sort of pre-saved, but this is what all of the curriculum looks like, right? So every state is a little bit different, but there's going to be an introduction, some chapters, and then at the end, there's going to be a little quiz, right? So let's jump in here really quick, right? Over here on the side, each one of these is just a chapter, and every chapter is set up pretty much the same way. There's a video to watch, there's some terms, and you just kind of keep moving through it. Okay, and then at the end, Savannah, there's this little chapter quiz. Click that guy. You can take it as many times as you want, right? Can't get it wrong. Well, I mean, you can get the answer wrong, but if you get it wrong, it doesn't matter because you can just take it over and over and over. I tell people, look, sometimes just go in and take the quiz first because then you'll get an idea of what you're working on. Okay.
Yes. Give me one. Give me one.
You're fine.
Fun fact, we actually just got off of her one-on-one. So
Oh, nice.
she's like soaking up that info. I love it.
Heck yeah. Now she's getting all of it. That's good. Who else do we got? Nobody else has popped in. Okay. Well, it is Saturday and it's Easter, so I was not expecting like massive numbers. All right, you're back. So any questions on these, right? There's usually like 6, 7 chapters per state. They all vary a little bit, but whatever you have, like that's what you need to focus on. And then up here, there's usually 2 types of exams. One is just a straight up practice exam, and then the other one is a readiness exam. Some states will say certificate exam. Either way, like that's the one that you need to take to have the pass and have your pre-licensing completed, okay? These you can also take as many times as you want. And I would highly recommend that you just kind of smash through these chapters. There's no reason that you couldn't finish all the chapters in a weekend, quite literally, right? Like just sit down and knock it out and then use these to study. And I always tell people, like, don't cheat. There's no point in cheating and like using notes or anything. Use it as an actual assessment because then it'll show you where you truly need to go back and study and focus. Like if you get, 3 out of the 6 sections passing, well, focus on the other 3 that you didn't pass first, and then go back and sort of like study it holistically. That way you can really hone in and focus on what you're studying. Okay.
No, Isaac.
So let's jump over here. So this is your exam FX, right? I know this is Texas, don't worry about it. But over here in Primerica Online, now if you've never done the Primerica Online before, the first time you log in from the desktop, it's going to look just like you'd log in from your phone. It's going to look like the app, okay? So I'm going to show you what it would probably look like for you the first time you log in.
Yes, you can play for a little bit. That's it.
So Savannah, when you log into your desktop on Primerica Online, it's probably going to look like this, okay?
Okay.
Come over here and click these 3 lines. And then just scroll down on the left and you'll see Primerica Online. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, when you click that guy, it'll bring you here. Now, if you were looking at this page and you were gonna go figure out for something for your life license, where do you think you should start? What do you see?
Registering first.
Do you see anything where like if you had to click something, like that's where you would probably start?
Life license?
Yeah, life licensing, right? We try not to make it too tricky. So life license and then get your life license.
Yes.
So once you come here, there's actually two sections where you can kind of look, right? This is actual licensing, and then this is education. So this would be study. This is your actual license, right? So let's go look at Tennessee really quick under licensing, because this is everything that you're going to need to do. And for your recruits in the future, this is where you can look up state-specific requirements as well, right? So Tennessee, and then this is your resident life license. Now, if you're already licensed and you wanted to get a license for Tennessee, you would click non-resident and it would give you all the steps. And once you're licensed and you want to get a non-resident license, it's just paperwork and whatever the state fee is. It's pretty simple. So for you, this will show you sort of like best practices for your Tennessee life licensing. It gives you a little checklist, right? Download the app, we got you there. Get started. So register for class. You're already registered for your online class. When it says schedule and pay for your exam, you can absolutely do that. You go click Pearson View, you set up an account, register for your exam. The $59 state fee will be reimbursed when you pass, or going back to that readiness exam, right? If you get a 75% on this guy or better, you'll get a code, and then you can register and take your exam for free, okay? So that's the way to look at life licensing. Now let's go back really quick. Is the student package in here? No, it's not.
No, it's not in that one.
It was like, didn't it used to be?
It's in the other, so going to pre-licensing, yeah.
I know, but I remember at one
It's
point.
it's under register for life class.
Yeah. So in here, guys, there's resources that you can look at to use to study. There's another exam simulator. There's also review sessions that you can go click on and watch, right? Like if you're struggling with something, there are state-specific pre-recorded sessions. And then they're sort of like big general topics. These are like 45 minutes, an hour. But if you just need to sit down and sort of like refresh before going through your exam, especially, this is a great way to do it. Or say you're struggling on like annuities, which kind of screw most people up. Come in here and watch a couple of like 7 or 9 minute videos really quick, and you'll get really refreshed. It's way better than trying to be like, oh, I need to study. And then you sit down for an hour and you think you were studying and you didn't really study. So these are good ways to do it. And then the last one really quick that I want to show you is the Life Student Pack. So I know I clicked a little quickly here. Let me go back. If you're back on top level, right, you clicked life license, get your life license. Now you're here. We're going to go choose your state, which is Tennessee. And then register for life class. There's a student pack in here. This student pack actually has some insurance exam like terms on the go that you can download as like a PDF, or excuse me, as an MP3, so you can listen to them, right? This is nice if you're like driving back and forth to work, you can just sort of listen. This also has a PDF of the insurance exam manual that you can download. Just another way to study. But for me, the best way that I studied was going through the Exam FX like curriculum and then just taking the test a bunch of times. So Savannah, any questions on any of that stuff for you?
No.
Okay. When do you think you're going to be finished with your exam?
I'm sorry.
When do you think you're going to be finished with your Exam FX curriculum? When did you?
Hopefully by April, the course April 6th is the goal.
Okay, April 6th. So we're going to remove hopefully, right? And we're just going to say we're going to be done on April 6th. Sound good?
Yes.
All right. So that's one of the big things I like to tell people is you got to get rid of words of I'll try to, or hopefully, or maybe. No, just remove the word and just make it happen. Okay. So now, really quick, I want to talk to the leaders really fast, right? So inside of Recruit Tracker, and for the new people as well, we can sort of go in and see where all of our people are at. And I don't know why Recruit Tracker is not loading. Hang on. The best one to use is the pre-built one. if you haven't gone in and tried to customize anything, but you can also customize some of the different columns and things to look at. So I would just go in and use the licensing specialist and go from there. And you can look at what people have going on, right? So here's a good thing to note. If your people have an inactive POL and they're working on getting their license and they have a bonus, if they don't have an active POL when they pass, their bonus will not pay. Their bonus just disappears. And so if someone's actively getting life license, keep that bonus on. Okay. Savannah, I'm gonna mute you really quick. So keep that POL on if someone's working on it. Now, these guys, you know, for whatever reason, IBA fee didn't work. That's okay. I know she's actually inactive, so I'm just gonna get rid of her. But for all of your other people, right? So Savannah Hodge, we're gonna use her as an example, right? She's pre-licensing complete. Where'd she go? She's got 2 outstanding documents. Let's look and see what she's got missing. So when she passes her exam, right, we need to upload that pass notice. And then when the state issues her actual life license, we need to upload a copy of that as well. And then usually within about 10 days or less, she'll be appointed. So her NAIC form is done, everything else is done. So that would lead me as like way upline to go look and say, okay, well, when is Savannah's exam? Well, we know this is not true because that's 3 weeks ago. So when's her actual exam?
J failed.
Okay, that's okay. But she can go in, she can still reschedule and go take it, right? Because if you're gonna do all that work, guys, and you take it and fail once, that's okay. You just got a free look at the exam. Just go take it again. Roughly 40 to 50% of the people that take their life insurance exam and pass it are taking it on the second time. Because a lot of people just get so nervous about going into the exam, they get in there and they sort of lock up. 1, 2, most people go in and take the exam and change a lot of answers. So I'm going to give you some advice really, really quick on test taking, right? So let's just, here, let me pull up one of the exams again, and we'll just use that. We'll use this as an example. All right, so let's just click it. Oh, I don't know if it'll let me do this yet. It won't. Okay. I'm going to use just one of these exams really fast, just to kind of show you guys. Okay. Here's how I take tests, right? If you know an answer it and move on and don't ever come back to it. Okay. So let's see. Which of the following is required number of participants in a contributor group plan? Let's see. 50%. Sure. Nope. Okay, that's fine. But in the actual exam, you wouldn't have been given any feedback, right? But if you knew the answer, you just click it and move on, right? So this one, yeah, school bus driver, sure. Next question. I don't know this one though, so I'm going to pretend there's a little mark for review box right here, right? I've got it down to like a 50-50. This is probably the one, mark for review, because you'll have that on your actual exam, right? And then move on. Next question. This one, this is basically written in Chinese. I have no idea what this says, right? Which of the following, I have no idea. Don't even put an answer here, right? And so since I have no idea what the answer is, guessing doesn't really help me if I'm continually changing the answer, meaning I'm only going to pick B or C. I don't care. Pick your favorite letter, A, B, C, or D. It doesn't matter to me. But if you have questions that you literally, it might as well be written in like Arabic or Chinese or something because the words don't mean anything to you, pick the same letter every time, please, right? B, C, D. I don't care what letter you pick, but if you constantly changing it, you're changing the odds. But if you leave the letter the same, only for ones that you don't have any clue on, which may only be like 10 of the questions on the exam, hopefully, just pick the same letter, right? Like, all right, for me, it's B, don't care, moving on, right? But don't sit there and waste a bunch of time trying to figure out the answer to a question that you don't understand. Because now you're just sitting like, there's no point. Just click it and move on. Go through the entire exam that way. Every state's different, right? When I took Florida, I think my test had 100 questions. It was like 60 on the insurance material and 40 on state laws, regulations, insurance commissioner, all that nonsense. Just go through the exam, answer every single question that you can answer comfortably, and don't mark it for review. Just answer it. Mark the ones for review that are sort of like a 50-50 toss-up. Most of the questions you're going to be able to eliminate at least one answer because it's completely wrong, right? Then if you think you have a clue, mark it for the one that you think is right, mark it for review, and then move on. And again, if you come up against ones that are like no idea, I would just leave it blank, but mark it for review, because there's a good chance that somewhere within the exam, you're going to find the answer to one of those questions. They might come back and answer it for you because, I mean, God bless, there's only so many ways we can ask these questions, right? And sometimes they ask you another question reworded the opposite way of one that you saw in the beginning and you had no clue, but when you saw that one, it made more sense. So give yourself an opportunity, but if you've already answered it when you come back to it, the odds of you wanting to change it, you're not going to want to, even if you found the right answer. And which leads me to my last thing. Once you answer a question, leave it. Because if you come back and you change it, greater than 50% chance that you're changing the right answer to a wrong one, first of all. Second, I only want you to come back and change it if you found the correct answer later in the exam and you know for a fact you're changing it to a right answer. Okay? So here's the way I do it, and here's why. For nearly every state, you only need a 70%. Michigan's dumb, you need a 72. I don't know why, but you do. So if nearly every state, you only need a 70%, and let's just say there's 100 questions. You went through the whole exam and you only answered 42 that you know for a fact are right, even 40, right? Well, that means there's 60 questions that are like 50-50, hopefully, for you. But here's the cool thing. Out of those 60, you only need to get 30 right to actually pass the exam. So what did you just do? You just took a whole lot of pressure off of yourself when you start going back and you're looking at those questions that are like, and you're kind of unsure about, right? And so I do the same thing on the securities exams, because why would I change my test taking technique? The technique is the technique is the technique. It applies to any test you take. It doesn't matter. The material doesn't matter. The technique is what matters in that situation, okay? So answer the ones that you can answer correctly off the top of your head. If you don't know it and you're just like, well, God bless, I have no idea, leave it blank and then come back to it, because you may, and just mark it for review and come back to it. If you answered it 100% and you know for a fact, don't mark it for review, because then you're going to waste your time reviewing things that are already correct. And you probably will induce yourself into changing a right answer to a wrong one. So don't. Go back through the ones you marked for review. If it's a 50-50, eliminate the most wrong answer, get rid of it, and then sort of narrow it down. And if you can make an educated guess and you think you're right, pick it. If you get to one that you just don't understand, right? It's all numbers and you thought you were taking like a writing test. Well, God bless. B, C, D, I don't care what letter answer you pick, just pick the same one every time and go with it. Okay? So that's that's sort of the big one. And I know we've had some more people jump in. Any questions on anything that I've gone over so far, anything you want me to review? I think a lot of the people that are on here right now are already licensed. Some are not. It's good. That's okay. Casey, anything that you want to add that I missed?
No, I love that. And I think that, Julie, she made a comment in there too. Like, guys, ask your license uplines, right? I mean, it doesn't matter how many times Noah can say it until he's blue in the face, or I can say it. Go to, your direct trainer and say, hey, were there any tips and tricks, right? Because I'm up in Michigan. It was completely different than Kentucky. Kentucky was completely different than Tennessee. That was probably completely different than Florida for Noah, right? And there are several of us, right, that have the options of taking it remote. And if you have that remote option, yes, it sounds fantastic. Noah will tell you, guys, I ended up setting it up 3 times. It only took me 1 time for me to actually able to take my exam, but my exam option was quite a ways away. And I was like, you know what, convenience, right, kids, everything. But if I would have just done it in person, made that one trip, I would have been one and done, okay, and passed the same thing. But it took me 3 times. The first 2 times there were issues with proctors and with the computer to get it all set up. It's not on you, right? That already just burns you out. It's like, oh, it's frustrating. So if you have the option to be able to take it in person, take it in person. Biggest advice, take it in person, because it was so, yes, Julie even said, took it remote. It was so stressful. It really is. The proctor, you have to wait, you have to show your camera, you have to show your room. There's so many different steps to it that are so tedious. And then that's as long as, right, your computer is working, because it always happens
There's so
when you
Gigi, I'm
need it.
sorry. There's so much that can terminate your test remotely too. Like
So much.
it said, even if your pet's walking on the screen, that they can terminate your test for that. So that added such an extra level of stress that thank God my husband was home that day and was able to keep the dogs. But if he wasn't, like, it just was making me even more stressed than I needed to be
Yep.
at that point.
Nope. Great point, Julie. Because I mean, I had to kick the dogs and all of the kids and hubby out of the house because there was no chancing it, and it was 2 hours. You're not allowed to come in. Don't even look at me. Nothing. So it does, and you guys are already we're already stressed out enough. So thank you, Julie, for that. Absolutely.
That's huge, guys. And when you move on to securities and you're tempted to take that securities exam from home as well, please don't, because it's even worse. And right, case in point, Casey took her first SIE at home. Proctor was 2 hours late. It was almost midnight by the time she started taking, like, mentally, do you think she was in a great place to take and pass that exam? No. If it's a long drive, make a day of it, right? Go somewhere to where the testing center is. If you have a family, bring them with you, find something for them to go do for that couple hours that you're going to be there, and then link up with them, like have them come back and get you afterwards. But you need to go take it in person if at all possible, because if you don't, the odds that Murphy is going to rear his ugly head and something is going to go wrong are much higher, because I've seen everything that you can imagine, right? You tested your computer system 2-3 days prior a couple times and everything's fine. Your Wi-Fi was strong enough the days that you tested it, but the day of it's not, or the weather's bad, or the power goes out. There's so many things. Your proctor just doesn't show up. I've seen that as well. Or like when you're trying to like show your room and show your computer, there's stuff on the desk or whatever that you can't get rid of, and or you like are scrambling to clear the desk, and now all of a sudden now your blood pressure's up because you're like, oh God, and it throws you off your game. So go somewhere. It just eliminates so much of the things that could go wrong if you just did it from home. So highly recommend you just go somewhere and take the exam. Paying for the exam. Pay for it up front, you get reimbursed when you pass. Or if that is not what you want to do, take the readiness exam, right? And then pass that with a 75, and then it'll give you a code. And then you can actually take that exam twice if you screw it up the first time, because then the code will give you that rebound sort of opportunity. Okay. Now I got you guys, whoever's here, right? I got you. Really quick, if you don't have a builder school ticket yet, put it in the chat. Let me know who does not have one that needs one, because we still have a couple left. I bought extras just in case, because we were going to have some new people coming in. Because if you go try to buy it right now through the website, it's going to be 35 plus fees and all that nonsense. So it'll be like 38 bucks. If you want one and you need it, you can get it from me because I pre-bought them. So they're only 25 bucks. It's like 25 bucks flat. I'll give you the code. You get the link to watch it live. You get the recording of it at the end, and you'll actually get the recording from the last builder's school that we did back in January. So pretty cool. Like 7 different $1 million earners plus coming to sort of like pour into us for the weekend. Plus you get to see recognition. I'm speaking. Wendy is on a panel. So some of you are Wendy's vision leg. So Wendy's speaking, she's on a panel. And then Casey is on a panel with us as well. And so pretty cool. The panel Casey's on is actually all of the top producers below RVP. And every single one of them is from Redline. And that's pretty crazy because you've got some really big hierarchies coming and attending, and every single below RVP panelist on that is from Redline. So you guys are exactly where you're supposed to be. If if you're unsure or you don't know kind of what's going on, that's okay. That's normal. It's like drinking from a fire hose when you're brand new. Initially trying to come in, you're like, I gotta take this exam and I gotta study and I gotta field train, and that's okay, right? Because just like anything new that you're starting or any business that's new that you're starting, it's not going to be calm seas, especially in the beginning, right? No, Jessica, you're fine. Don't worry. But in the beginning, right, if you're in a boat and you're rowing, you got to row with both hands, guys. Because if you're only rowing with your licensing oar, your boat's going this direction and it has activity, but it's not going anywhere. And same thing, if you're not working on your license and you're just using your field training oar for your boat, well, your boat's going the other direction and it has activity, but you're not going anywhere, right? So we like to say on the team, you got to row with both hands in the beginning, especially because you got to get licensed, but you also got to field train, because the license is just the state thing, right? That's just your state certificate that makes you legal to sell life insurance, but field training is your actual like on the job training. And that's where you're going to learn your craft and learn the product and learn the business and learn how we talk to clients. But more importantly, it's where you get to learn and see what we do for people. And so if you have not done any field training yet, or you feel like you haven't done enough, we just need to go set some appointments. And that's usually pretty simple, because at the end of the day, in the beginning especially, it just comes down to asking for help, right? Hey, Casey, right? Last time since we spoke, I'm working on some financial licensing. Do you think you and Kyle could sit down and just let me show you what we're doing? Take like 20, 30 minutes. If you can use it, great. If not, then that's okay as well, right? I just need you to know more about what I'm doing so you'd be comfortable giving me some referrals down the road. Is that okay? Perfect. When's better, today or tomorrow? Today? Cool. So like this afternoon, like 2, 3, or 4, or like this evening, which is better? This evening? Okay, great. So like 5 or 6. 6? Listen, I'm just going to pencil you in for 6 o'clock. Phone and email really quick. I'll lock this in for you. My regional vice president or my regional leader, whomever, right, is going to run the appointment for me. I need you and Kyle both there, or I don't get credit for the training. Is that okay? Awesome. So I'll see you guys tonight at 6. You'll get a Zoom link. And like I said, if you can use it, great, but this will just really help me out. I appreciate it. 60 seconds off the phone, right? Maybe some small talk in there, but if you're on the phone for more than 2 minutes setting that appointment, you're dragging it out and you're probably talking too much, because the whole point is to get them to set the appointment. Do you know what you're doing yet, or even really what you're talking about? No. So don't drag it out on the phone answering a bunch of questions that you don't have answers to. Listen, like my field trainer is going to run the entire appointment because I'm just learning. So I'm probably just going to hang out and smile and nod. They're going to do all the talking, but this is how I learn. Okay. So I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys soon. That's it. That's it, guys. And don't be stressed out if you're like, oh, well, they're, they don't need anything. They're all set. You don't know that, because most people think that their people are all set. That's just a facade. That's just that social media life. They're not. I can almost guarantee and promise you they're not, because we teach people all the time, especially our agents, right? There's 3 rules when it comes to clients and their insurance, their coverages, their money. Rule number 1, they don't know what they have. Rule number 2, they're unsure about what they have. And rule number 3, they still don't know what they have. They don't know. Because I promise you, you call and ask anybody right now, hey, what's your life insurance coverage like? Or what's your retirement stuff look like? They're like, I don't know. I mean, it's there. It comes out of my check. I don't know. Isn't that something you think you should like know? Right? Or at least you're like your beneficiary? Because if you don't know, how are your beneficiaries going to know? God forbid something happens to you. How are they going to know what they're supposed to be expecting, or even how to go about it? So it's an important conversation, right? So, hey, listen, I know you're probably all set, but wouldn't you mind, or would you mind sitting down and doing some training with me? We'll get you a second opinion, bring everything with you to the appointment, right? We'll look at it, and if it makes sense, we'll tell you. And if it doesn't make sense, we'll kind of show you why and see if we can get you a better plan, a better option. Does that make sense? Perfect. Because I mean, let's be honest, if I could give you more and save you some money, is that something you open to taking a look at? Usually, right? If I could save you some money on something you're already spending money on, is that something you'd be open to sitting down, taking a look at? Perfect. When's better, today or tomorrow? It goes right back into yes questions, guys. And so let's turn this into an appointment setting sort of boot camp really quick. Because what happens to most people when you ask a question about when can we sit down? What's the first thing they usually say? Like, oh, I'm so busy. Well, if you're getting that answer, you're asking the wrong question. If you're getting the, oh, I'm so busy, you're generally asking, when are you available? When can we sit down? And you're not qualifying it with two choices. Because if you give someone a yes question, they will generally provide you an answer, right? But Casey, role play with me really quick. I'm going to ask the question the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Casey, when can you and Kyle sit down so I can kind of show you what we're doing?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, we are so busy, all the kids, everything, Easter. It's just been nuts.
Oh man, I know. I'm with you. But just generally, right? When life isn't crazy and it's not Easter, when is normally better for you guys? Is it weekdays or weekends?
Probably weekends.
Weekends? Okay, perfect. Saturday or Sunday?
Probably Saturdays.
Okay. So like you want like in the morning, like before soccer lunch and all that, or like afternoon after that's all done?
Yeah, maybe like evenings, kids go to bed, things like that.
Evening's good, right? Kids go to bed at like 8 o'clock, 7?
Yep.
Okay.
That would be great.
Yeah, I'll pencil you in for like 8 o'clock on Saturday. Does that work?
Yeah, that should work.
Perfect. You'll get a link in the email, and I'll talk to you guys before then, just kind of give you a quick follow-up. But if I don't hear from you between now and then, I'll see you Saturday at 8. Just need to have you and Kyle both there, okay? We use Zoom.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. See you then. Yes, guys. Always. And it doesn't matter. Because if you ask someone what's better for you guys, just generally, weekdays or weekends, they're not going to say, nope. People are conditioned to respond to answering a question when it's asked correctly. But if you just ask someone what their schedule's like or what they got going on, you're about to get an earful of I'm so busy. Period. So yes questions are super important. And then while you're doing that, what's also super important is to have your trainer's calendar up, because otherwise you're not going to know what's going on. Now, if you don't have it up, just write it down and make sure you got their phone and email, and then go back and book it later. And if that appointment time isn't available on your trainer's calendar, well, God bless, get a different one. Or just ask your trainer who else is available, and then we'll get them taken care of, because there are numerous trainers that can help with that. And none of us are going to be mad if you end up using someone else and we just get split for something that we weren't there for anyway, right? And so here's kind of the way to think of this. When you're going and setting these appointments and you're not licensed yet and you're just working on your bonus, who's getting paid? Right? Think about it. Who's getting paid? The trainer. But who's doing all the work? The trainer, right? You're showing up, smiling and nodding, learning the business. And on average, it's a $200 bonus for each of those, because every recruit and every successful client appointment that totals $1,000 in premium annually. So think of like 84 bucks a month. That's a $200 bonus for you. And you do that the first time and you get a promotion to 35% commission that you keep forever. You do it 2 more times after that, what we call 3 by 3. So 3 recruits and 3,000 in premium. Now you're sitting on a $600 bonus and a 50% commission contract forever. Your commission never goes down once you lock it in, right? And at that point, even if you're just going to be a silent partner, well, God bless, you're still making on average about $250 an appointment just for sending a referral that closes. So not bad, right? But in the beginning, we want you guys to go as fast as possible, because if we can get you to a 50% commission contract minimum, guys, on average for most of you, that's $500 to $1,000 an appointment, right? For if you get a married client, now you've got 2 life apps on average, okay? That's the way to think about it, because in the beginning, when you're in your fast start window, is the easiest time it's ever going to be to get promoted. and to lock in a big commission contract, right? You get to 5 recruits and 5,000 in premium. Now you're sitting on $1,000 bonus plus and a 60% commission contract. If you wait on that, you have to do 10 by 10 as a team, right? As a base, once you're licensed to reach that 60% commission contract. Would you rather do 10 by 10 or do it 5 by 5 when someone else is doing all the work and you make $1,000 bonus? It's never easier than when you're in your fast start window and you're working on your field training. Okay. So that's it. I will answer any questions that anybody has. Trainers, if you guys have other questions that you need something or you need some help on, I'll stick around. Let me know, right? But for who else is on here right now? Savannah, Rachel, Kelsey, Amy, for my non-licensed yet. What do you need? What can I help with? What have your biggest hurdles been so far? Anything? And if not anything, I'll let you go. Where you go. You don't get this opportunity very often though, so here I am. Nothing? Okay. Happy Easter, guys. I'll talk to you soon. People getting people to sit with you. Yeah. Okay. So Rachel, can you unmute yourself really quick?
Yeah, I'm here. You just may hear my baby.
That's okay. Totally get it. So Rachel, what has been your frustration in terms of like getting people to sit? I know just getting them to sit down is frustrating.
Well, I listened to what you said about, don't give them a chance to, like ask when's available for you, stuff like that. Like I listened to all that, but it's like, I've been telling Casey and I've been telling Haley, like I cannot get anybody to sit with me. It's like they don't have time. They think they're wasting their time. And, when I say that I'm going to have my trainer on, they probably think that I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know what I'm talking about yet. They don't want to listen to me, blah, blah, whatever the case may be. But
Okay.
I cannot, I've asked, Lord, I've had at least 5 people sit with me, but I want more and I have more, but they just won't do it. They won't do it.
I'm with you. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah,
Can you role play with me really quick?
I can try.
Good. No, good. Like now, listen, this takes guts, right? Because it's been recorded too.
I know.
It's okay. But listen, I need you to work through this really quick because it's going to change your business forever. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Now, you know me, right? We're old friends. I need you to call me. You texted me. I know you're calling, right? Because here's the setup, guys. Most of the people that you talk to, you're sending a text to first, right?
Yeah.
You confirm that they're there. Now, are you trying to continue setting the appointment over a text message?
Yes, because this is going to sound silly, but I have like fear of rejection. Like when people reject me, it really hurts my feelings.
I'm not rejecting you right now, but I'm telling you that is never going to work.
Okay.
Okay. Because here's why. If you send someone a text message and they look at it and they see it, they're probably in their brain thinking, oh, I need to get back to Rachel, but then they don't. Because life, right? Because life. They get busy, the dog barks, the kid spills milk. Now they go back to that text message like, oh crap, I ghosted Rachel. I feel so bad. Like, but if they're texting with you and they respond to a text message, we would all agree that if I respond to your text message, I'm probably holding this stupid thing.
Yeah.
Call
No,
it.
I know. It's 2024. People hold their phones. I know that all the time.
It's basically like attached to their face, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you texted me, I responded, call me.
Okay. Hello.
You're gonna set an appointment right now.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Noah.
Hey, what's up, Rachel? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Hey, I'm starting a new job and we work with finances, and I just want to sit down with you and see if you're where you're at when it comes to your 401k, any kind of life insurance, anything similar to that. Do you, what day works best for you?
Oh man, I'm so busy.
Okay.
Pause. Did you ask me a yes question?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
You said what day works best for you?
Well, that's because I got that from whenever you and Casey were role playing.
No, that I never asked that question.
I thought you said what day works best for you.
I said, what's better for you generally, weekdays or weekends, today or tomorrow?
Was my question bad?
Yeah, because you said what day works best for you. It wasn't yes, yes. So, and this is important, guys. Words matter. Because if you're not asking yes, yes questions, you're setting yourself up for no. I only ask questions that have a no answer when I want a no answer.
Okay.
Okay, so let's back up really quick. All the way up until that point, you're doing great. I would eliminate all of those like individual things that you were listing off and just call it financial services.
Okay.
Okay.
Because well then, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Right. Hey, Rachel, how you doing, girl? You doing good?
Doing good.
Awesome. Hey, listen, I don't know if you noticed or not since the last time we talked. You might have seen it on social media. I'm working on some financial licensing. I'd love to just sit down and show you what we're doing. And if you can use it, great. If not, it would just really help me out. You have to get that helping qualifier in there early, guys, because people want to help, right? And
Yeah.
if you can't use it, it would just really help me out because I just need to get some training. When's better for you guys to sit down? Weekdays or weekends?
Okay.
Okay. And then give me an answer.
Weekends
Weekend.
or
Perfect.
weeknights after a certain time.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hey, it's the weekend right now, today or tomorrow. You got to put some urgency in there as well, right?
Okay.
So today or tomorrow?
Today's fine.
Okay,
Today
great.
works.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost 2. You want to do this afternoon or this evening?
Let's do this evening.
Perfect. You want 6, 7, or 8? I'll hold whichever one you want.
Let's do 6.
6 o'clock. Listen, I'm going to pencil you in for 6 o'clock. We do it on Zoom. You'll get a Zoom link when I do it. Has your phone and email changed? Because you probably have these for people that you know and love, right?
Yeah.
Go book it for them. And as you're booking it for them, guys, you need to have your trainer's calendar up, and you need to have this guy open right here, the one that says free quote financial consultation.
Mm-hmm.
Because then as it's up and I'm asking people when they would want to sit down, right? And I can say, hey, you want 4, 6:30, 7? Like, just throw those options out there. That way you've got them open, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then go in and book the dang thing. And then add yourself as a guest. That way you get the Zoom link as well. And you get the calendar sort of reminder with that also, okay? So, hey, Rachel, I'm gonna pencil you in for 6 o'clock, right? My regional vice president or whomever's gonna be there, they're gonna run the appointment. They're doing all the training for me right now. And like I said, and if you can use it, great. If not, I just need you to know more about what I'm gonna be doing so you'd be comfortable giving some referrals down the road if you know anybody that needs this, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. I'll see you tonight at 6, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Post-close, right? So you confirm
Okay.
the appointment, you remind them again, hey, like if you know somebody's super flaky, like, hey girl, you're gonna get the calendar reminder here in a second with the email, but do me a favor, throw it in your phone, because if you're anything like me, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. Am I right?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. I'll see you tonight at 6.
Okay. Well, let me ask one more thing. So say that we've already sat down with, so for example, me and Casey sat down with a girl this past week and she wanted to pursue on.
Yeah.
And I've reached out once already and she hasn't responded. I leave it alone, right?
I mean, do you know her?
I do, but but that's the thing is I don't want to make her mad thinking that I'm trying to force her into.
Don't chase anybody, right? But if you know her, just send her a
Well,
text.
I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I just wanted to see where you're at. If you wanted to go ahead and, because she said she had to check with her husband's schedule and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she seemed like she really wanted to do it over the meeting. And she just, she said she didn't get to talk to her husband that morning. And so she'll have to check his schedule. And that was it. I didn't reach out again and I haven't heard from her.
That's okay. That's okay. Was it for the recruit side or for a like kitchen table client side?
Potentially a kitchen table. Potentially, we were gonna show them, what we do, or of course, what we do more, and then potentially get a quote to them and everything. But she just hasn't, like I said, I reached out and said, I sent her the calendar and she's not done anything yet.
Okay, so here's the problem. Like you sent the calendar, right?
No, I messaged her and I said, hey, do you, hang on, I'll pull it up real quick.
While you're pulling
Uh,
that up though, guys, like sending someone the calendar, you just gave them control and you relinquished it.
Well, I messaged her and I said, hey, did you still want to set up a meeting tomorrow or Friday? And she said, I'm pretty sure Stephen and I were talking about it this morning, but he didn't give me his schedule. And I texted her back. I did not send her the calendar. I did not. I said, that's fine. No pressure. Just let me know when is best for y'all. And she didn't respond.
Okay.
Is that okay? Leave it alone?
So you sent that yesterday or today?
I sent that on Wednesday.
Oh, well, yeah. Like if you go 48 hours, and now here's another trick, guys. If you get permission during the call to follow back up, you can never be the bad guy. Right? Like, hey, Rachel, listen, I know you and Steven need to sit down and get his calendar. If I haven't heard from you guys by Friday, can I just follow back up with you to make sure? Because I want to like these fill up, especially for the weekends. I want to make sure we get you we get you a spot saved.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because then she's gonna say yeah, right? And then when you call her back or text her back, she's gonna be like, oh, I gave her permission, right? She's not gonna be mad at you. Because
Okay.
let me get rid of another myth for you guys as well, right? A lot of people, if they don't set that appointment, now they feel guilty because they said they were going to call you back and didn't, or they said they were going to do something and didn't because life, right? But that's why it's always super important. And that's why here's another trick, Rachel, right? I want you to tell me that you need to check with Steven and he's got to give you your schedule or whatever, right?
Okay.
Just like that girl told you. Hey, Rachel, so when's better for you guys? When's better for you and Steven when we can sit down? Is it weekdays or weekends?
I'll have to check with him. Our schedules are a little hectic right now.
Trust me, I feel that, right? So listen, affirm, answer, close. This applies to everything. Hey, listen, I feel that, right? Melissa and I are like two ships passing in the night. We rarely align, but just generally when things are not crazy, when's generally, right? Like when's generally the better time that you guys are both in the same place at once? Evenings or weekends or what?
Probably more so, obviously, the evenings.
Okay. So is that usually like 7, 8, 9, like guaranteed you guys are both going to be home?
Probably 7 or 8.
Okay, well, let's just shoot for 8 o'clock. I'm going to pencil you in. And if something changes between now and then, we'll just move it, but I want to make sure I get you a spot. I'm just going to pencil you in for tomorrow night at 7, or we said 8, sorry. I'm going to pencil you in for tomorrow night at 8. And if something changes, call me.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right, perfect. So listen, I'm just gonna pencil you in for 8. You'll get an email. It's gonna have a Zoom link in it, and we'll see you then. And if something changes, girl, call me and we'll get you taken care of. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Perfect.
Okay, so here's my next question, and then I'll get off here.
Good. No, this is no. Listen, you're fine, right? Because everyone has been through exactly every single one of these scenarios, and thank you for being like bold enough to just come out and ask and walk through this because this is good.
Well, I mean, I would love to bump my bonus up besides just me and Ryan, my husband, signing up. I'd love to get other people signed up and educated on it, but it's literally like pulling teeth. And I don't, anyway, so when it comes to, talking to people and stuff, do you have something that like I could study to be able to help me with my getting a meeting scheduled, like what you're doing right now? Do you have anything, or does Casey or?
You mean like teachable?
Sure.
Yeah. No, I'm being serious. Like teachable. Like we built
like,
this. This is it.
Okay.
Right? What have we just been doing this entire time?
I know, but I need more of it.
What I'm telling you though, we're overcoming objections. It's all right here. Right? So overcoming objections is here.
I got on a little late. I thought my time and your time are different. So I thought it was 1 o'clock my time, but I didn't read it correctly. I'm central.
Okay.
So I got on a few minutes late.
That's okay. Where is the appointments? No, it must be in the new associate. Where the heck is it? Is it under kitchen table? When is the appointment setting stuff? Presentation.
It's on our kitchen table.
That's what I thought so too. Those are the objections, but those are the life objections. Mindset, boot camp. Where's the appointment setting stuff? Is it gone?
It's gone. Is he redoing it?
No.
No, what in the world? Okay, well,
Well, hey, when you get it back, just shoot it to me, please.
no,
Shoot me the
I'll
link
put
or
it out. I will
something.
put it out in the group. There's a whole appointment setting boot
I was,
camp audio and everything.
I was about to say there was one the other day, but maybe he did change it.
I mean, maybe. Oh, here it is, right here. Complete on your own, right? Appointment setting audios. These are the different
Okay.
ones, and then role play appointment setting. But here's appointment setting scripts as well. But this appointment setting audio is huge.
Perfect.
This is appointment setting from start to finish. This is Ian Pruckner, right? So Ian was the relentless senior national sales director. That's who Andy and Brittany learned from. That's who we built this entire system from. We just like supercharged it and made it go faster. Okay, so that's appointment setting isolated for kitchen tables, and then objections. This is a appointment setting sort of video that Josh Christian did for us a long time ago. So these are all good, guys. If you haven't gone through these, you need to, because everything that I just taught you about overcoming objections and just generally, that's all sort of wrapped up and built in, right? So right here, where'd that go? Right, appointment setting. So step 4 under new associate. These are huge, okay? And then easy 3. Who hasn't done their like easy 3 kitchen table appointments? Anybody?
I don't think I've done.
Okay, so when I say easy 3, your easy 3 is generally like you and your spouse.
Oh, yeah. No. We've done it. Yeah. Me and my husband done ours.
Yeah, well, so then after that, we usually say, okay, outside of your spouse, who's the most influential person in your life? A lot of people, it's their parents or their grandparents or whatever, right? And so whoever that person is for you, that's who we should sit down with next, because whether they can use it or not, it doesn't matter. Because if you can get that person on board and show them what you're doing, now that influence extends to more than just you within your family in general, right? And if they see value and it makes sense, they're like, oh, this is what she's doing. It's not just one of those things, right? She doesn't want to sell me like candle wax. Like, oh, this is important. This is really important. I mean, I want my house to smell good. That's also important, but like, this is really important. And then when you get that person, like, sort of calmed down in terms of they thought your Facebook was hacked or whatever, like, oh, this is real. Oh, you're getting a state license. Oh, you have to do fingerprints and a background check. Okay, yeah, this is real. Once you get that sort of mentality overcome for that person, then it starts to diffuse through the family. I promise you. And that's how it works. And that's how referrals build, guys. Right? So you and your spouse, parents are huge. Whether they need it or not, I don't care, because we're all about showing people, right? We obviously want to close, but if we don't, again, that's okay, right? Someone probably pretty influential in your workspace, meaning your workspace, if you work full-time already, your spouse's workspace, because now, like, what does that do? That puts you into good market positions with people that have jobs, that have families, right? That's where you want to be in terms of kitchen table appointments. Your, nephew that's 19 and plays Xbox all day eating Cheetos, that is not a kitchen table, right? That guy probably would be interested in learning how to make some extra money on the side and getting a license that's his forever. That's a recruit appointment. So when we start talking about macho, right? Married, age 25 to 60 roughly, but anybody over 18 can be covered. Children, either in the home or adult children, I don't care if they're yours, their step, it doesn't matter. They still need to be covered. They live in their own home. If they own it, great. But living in their own home is ideal because that person is sort of responsible, right? And then the last one is occupation. Do they have a job? If someone fits all 5 of those, that's a 5-point kitchen table appointment, right? That's like the gold standard. And if we have a 5-point kitchen table and they're married, we need both of them there. Hold on, I'm gonna finish this and then I'll answer your question. The next rung down is a 4-pointer, right? And that's someone who's married and no kids, or single with kids, right? But that's a 4-pointer. And then as you get down to 3, someone's generally single, they have a job, maybe live by themselves. You're borderline at that point of it becoming a recruiting appointment. Because in that situation, they're generally going to see more value in an extra way to produce income before they're going to see extra value in life insurance, right? But once they're in the business and they understand, well, God bless, like that's almost a no-brainer at that point, because you just need the time and exposure to see it, right? But Rachel, do you have a question?
No, I don't. No, my microphone was muted. It wasn't me that had a question. I don't
Okay,
know. Somebody else
somebody
did.
Savannah.
Yeah, it was me. I was gonna ask if, sorry, my phone was messing. What if your grandparents are over 65 and on Social Security, but also need life insurance? Because I know my grandmother was looking into getting life insurance because we just buried my grandfather last June on Father's Day.
I'm sorry.
Well, he died on that day. And we had literally no coverage for him, so all the family pitched in, put together to be able to bury him.
Hmm.
So she was like, I don't want the family to feel stressed again, and I want life insurance, but I don't want to be with me on disability Social Security. I don't want to be struggling on my behalf as well.
No, for sure.
Because there were like, oh, she needs to pay like $300 and $400. Obviously, she can't afford that.
Oh no, so let's do this, right? So guys, anybody that's 70 or younger, we can put new business on, right? If they're 71 or older, I can't put a new policy on them. People are still coverable down the road if they had a policy that takes them past that age. You just can't put new business on someone at that age. Savannah, when your grandfather died, which that's awful, how much did your family raise?
We had to raise $10,000.
Okay. So were you guys able to do it?
Barely. I mean, if it wasn't for his sister and his nephew, which owned his own business,
Mm-hmm.
and his sister being a little bit more wealthy, I mean, we don't think we would have been able to do it. But all the family did pitch in, obviously. But just like the immediate family on, just for my grandfather, my mom, aunts, and me and my husband and things like that, we were able to raise 5,000 ourselves. So
Okay.
they paid the other.
So no,
But my grandmother is
I'm
not
with
gonna be so easy because a lot of her sisters and brothers are already gone.
no, I know.
So
I'm
she
with you. Check
only
this out.
has,
Are you looking at the screen?
yes, I am.
Okay, so your grandmother's 65, so she's actually like at that perfect age because I can give her still a 15-year term.
Uh-huh.
Now, for the next 15 years, do you think, even on disability and Social Security, that she could handle $68 a month?
Yeah, she could handle that.
I think so too. And now here's what's crazy. For that $68 a month, we can give her 25,000 in coverage. Do you think that would give her peace of mind?
It probably would, and I think she said that she wanted to leave a little bit of money for her kids as well. So that means $10,000, and then they have 15,000 to split between 4. So, that would help.
So I mean, we can look at different options, right? Like if grandma's making somewhere in the neighborhood of a couple grand a month between Social Security and disability, well, she can probably afford a little more. It'd be up to her in terms of what she would want to spend. I mean, I think that's a lot, right? That's 130 for 50,000. But if the most important thing is that she doesn't want to be a burden in case of a burial and those sorts of things, well, God bless. Like, let's get this taken care of, right?
I
25,000.
mean, $25,000, she would probably feel so much better. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's not going to be obviously a lot that she can leave to them, which I think she would be okay with.
But it's not a
But
GoFundMe
knowing
worrying
that
about a
we're
burial.
not stressed and struggling to be able to bury her, and then like we did with our grandfather, because it was sudden for him, which we didn't know that he had what you call blackbird's disease.
Never.
Yep, you get it from blackbirds, from their poop.
That's
And
kinda
if you
terrifying.
plow, yes, if you plow in the area where they do, you get it into, it's called blackbird pneumonia, and it gets into your lungs
Hmm.
and causes infection, which we didn't have. No, he had it for 2 years. He never told us, nobody. And then when he got really sick back in May, and that within a month he was gone. It was already too late.
That's tragic. Well, hey, listen, is grandma available? Is grandma around?
No, grandma's not here with me. I'm gonna talk to her tonight about it,
Mhm.
and then I'll get with, I think, Olivia or Casey, one
Yeah,
one
All
of them,
yeah,
and
for sure.
to where we can sit down with her, because she's always at home anyway, so she's pretty much available at any time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like this afternoon, right? Is grandma got a phone?
Yeah, I can call her and see if we can sit down with her.
So we could
I would have to
probably
go
just
to
knock this thing
her.
out today, right? Or you could just head over to her and sit down with the phone and say, hey, grandma, I know you were really worried about this. This is something that we can kind of knock out and it'd be great for training for me. Can we just sit down really quick?
Yeah, I'll call her in a little bit and see if one of them are available. Any of you guys are available that's can do it, would be okay.
We'll knock it out. I promise. Somebody will be available. And even if it's me, I'm available, depending on what time.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. So listen, that was super important for you to understand, right? Because one, what did we just do? We just helped someone set an appointment that probably thought that would have been too expensive. And that's the mindset that people are going into most of this with. I sat with a lady yesterday. She's only 44. And she goes, I probably need like 100 grand. I know I'm gonna pay, right? But that's okay. And I said, well, hold on, like you're really young. Like, how much do you think like 100 grand in coverage would even cost you? She said, oh, I don't know, probably 120, something, right? So I said, okay, well, let me show you that. So I showed her 100. Watch, now watch this, guys. And I know that we're going over. If you gotta go, you gotta go, right? So power term, and she's 44. So I said, listen, I know you only want 100. So let's look at that for you really quick. So here's 100, but Casey, if I could give you some more coverage and maybe even save you some money, is that something that would make sense for you? Me too. So watch, Casey, can I give you an extra 50,000 in coverage and save you like $1 and change a month? You think she's ready to like do this or not? One, it's half of what she thought it was going to be. Two, I just gave her 50% more coverage than she thought she was going to get for what she was willing to pay. Guys, like you can't let people think that it's too expensive. One, you can't let people think that they're all set because they're probably not. Most people are walking around underinsured and overpaying for what they have. And if they're not, great, let's sit down and look at it, because if it's really good, I'm going to tell them. But if it's not, do you think they would want to know that they're overpaying for something that is not great? I would want to know, right? So whether you think they're all set or not, don't prejudge. Just get them on the appointment, right? So if you haven't set up a Teachable account yet, go do that, because that's huge. Let's get this out. Casey, do you have this handy? Because I was
I
gonna
already put it in the chats.
Thank you. All right, that's why you're awesome, right? But guys, the curriculum, the licensing curriculum, is how you get your state license. That's it, right? That's just your thing you're going to put on the wall or wherever. Teachable and field training is how you're going to actually learn about this stuff, and where you're going to learn how to do what we do, how we talk to clients, how you can get better at setting appointments. Who thinks that they're going to leave this today better at setting appointments than they came in? I would hope everybody, right? Because that was sort of like a real quick 30-minute boot camp masterclass on setting appointments and overcoming objections. All right. So let's go put that to work. Let's get that going, right? Go bump your bonuses. It's Easter, right? If you're setting an appointment for tomorrow, like that's probably going to not happen. So I would not. Just go enjoy the time with your family tomorrow. Today is still a good day to set some appointments and get that done though. And then April 1st is the close of business for March business. Okay. So whatever, like if you're setting some appointments and we're trying to get it in for March production, let's get them on for Monday. I'm gonna be around Monday and I'll get my calendars out or my calendar out. So if you guys have stuff that you want to get done, let's do it. Because I'm also your investment specialist for the team right now until we get a couple more people licensed. All right, guys. All right. Happy Easter. If anybody's got any questions, I'll still hang around for a couple minutes just in case, but take care. See you guys, and I'll get the recording on as well.